All right. Hello, everybody. So hello to everybody who is coming in to this glorious workshop. Who is ready? So we are diving into the absolute. All right. Hello, everybody. So hello to everybody who is coming in to this glorious workshop. Who is ready? I'm ready. I hope you are all ready. So let's see here. We are basically, let me just pin here and we begin. Okay. Oh, who's here? So it's really good to see some of you. Wow, Janelle, you are here from the other side of the world. Trevor, it's so good to see you. First time. Alex, Kim, Elizabeth, Teresa. Oh my goodness, Jay, Kimberly, Mary, Nancy. Oh, it's so good to see some of your faces. This is why I love doing this on Zoom. Okay, Risa is coming in, Luann. Oh God, so many amazing beings here. Gordon, Franz, Leslie, Emma, Priti, Annie. Okay, so I'm not going to name everyone who's here, but I just want to take a moment to presence each of you to really open up to the field that we are co-creating right now, because each of us have shown up right here, right now, in order to awaken to the next level of manifestation, really to unlock the ability, the power that each of us have to create what it is that we are called from our souls to create. Not something that we should create, not something that we think that we're supposed to or others expect us to create, but the very thing that's actually in our soul, in our heart to create. So I recently did a workshop. Some of you were there, the Accelerated Mini Manifestation Workshop. I need to clarify some things. So that's why we are coming together again, because I have noticed that although I shared some things in the previous workshop that were very, very powerful and very real examples of manifestation. Hello, yes, please write where you're from, what's going on. Where you are in the world. I would love to know. This is going to be interactive today. For those of you here on Zoom, if you're watching on YouTube, if you want to be on one of these Zoom calls in the future, one of these live workshops with me, just go to veronicacresto.com and you can sign up for my newsletter, which is who we are gathered with here today on Zoom. So what ended up happening was, although I shared these incredible examples of, real life manifestation from my own life, definitely from many clients and friends' lives, I have seen endless examples of how powerful we are, of how we have misinterpreted or misunderstood what our role is here on earth, how we have actually been sort of asleep to the infinite supply and the infinite power that we all have access to, that we're all tapped into all the time. It's just a matter of owning it or not. It's just a matter of saying, yes, I'm available to it or not. However, what I have noticed is I've gotten some letters from people saying that they're a bit frustrated with their lives, with their, so good seeing all of you, with their results, because they are not seeing the results and they are in this energy, in this frequency, but they're not actually seeing the results in their vision, in their dream. They're not seeing it come to life. So today we're actually going to talk about this absolute key. It is a key. I've been in reflection because I have felt a little bit rubbed the wrong way in regards to seeing a lot of what people are teaching around manifestation in the spiritual community, especially, and how it's actually holding many people back. Okay, it's holding many people back. So today, my intention is that you discover specifically what it is for you that is that missing ingredient. Although we'll be talking about one absolute key, within this key, there are 4 layers or 4 levels that are going to be, one of them very likely, or all of them maybe, I don't know, are going to be very specific to you in terms of what needs to be or what can be developed right now. Oh God, I love that we have someone here from Kenya, Madagascar, Australia, North Carolina, Canada, Newfoundland, Iowa, California, England, Connecticut. Oh goodness, everybody. London, Inglewood, Netherlands. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Let's start always with the most important thing, with sacred space. Okay. So I have a little candle here. I am traveling. So I have my little seashell that I found in Portugal and a tea light candle. And I'm just going to light some Palo Santo. You can light a candle. Just imagine all of us here gathering together, tapping into who we really are, clearing whatever has been in the way of becoming the massive, powerful, when I say massive, I mean massively powerful, connected creators, manifestors, manifestresses that we are here to be. Right now, I'm just looking out at the ocean and there's just an infinite, it's kind of foggy here. So there's just infinite blue. It's like ocean and sky are sort of blended together. And I just want you to take a deep breath with me for a moment. Let go of anything that has been occupying your attention, your mind, your energy from the past, or maybe the future has been pulling you. And let's just drop in for a moment, just taking a deep breath into the present moment, your heart beating, your inhale moving into your lungs and exhaling out of your lungs. Taking another deep breath in, receiving something good in your whole body, in your whole being, every cell of your body lighting up with your attention, with love, with fresh life force, with breath. And as you exhale out, letting it go, making space for grace. Another deep breath in, receiving, receiving. You can even outstretch your arms, be willing to take up space. Pulling your hands overhead, connecting your palms together overhead if that's comfortable for you. Just connecting in and bringing your palms down to your heart, just calling in connection to this infinite supply, to this higher power, to your true self. If this feels woo-woo to you, that's all right. Just breathe into it, be open, be curious. Because what we're going to learn and discover and put into practice today is actually quite practical. Another deep breath in. And just setting the intention to receive maximum value from our time together, because you always have the choice to choose this. And as you exhale out, noticing how your body is feeling. And just asking yourself the question right now, what is it that I want to create, manifest more than anything? The thing that makes you giddy, the thing that makes you like feel ridiculously overjoyed, maybe even like you're in love, like madly in love. It feels that good to think about creating or manifesting this thing. I don't want you to limit yourself. I want you to be limitless with whatever that vision is. And if you can just get very clear on what that is. For me, for the last year and a half, it's been searching for home, because we moved recently and we've been on this quest to find our real home, to find like where we're meant to be. It's been a deep, deep calling, a deep quest. And it seems like it has finally actualized after a lot of really declaring it and taking certain actions. So what is it that you absolutely just feel overjoyed to create in your life? Like for me, it wasn't just a home. It was like home, just gorgeous land, gorgeous place where my whole nervous system is at peace. What is it for you? And I'd love to know in the chat. Feel free to share that, whether it's something to do with your business, your health, your relationships, home, whatever it is for you. Yeah, so Kim is saying home for her as well. So what do you think the absolute key to manifestation is? What do you think the absolute key to manifestation is? Yeah. So prosperous business, I love home, working for myself and earning good money. Beautiful. So just notice what that feels like in your body physically, if you imagine that is already done. And we'll be going into it a little guided process as well. Work success with our design ideas. Ooh, so good. And how do you know when it's successful? What does that look like specifically? If you could paint a picture of that, so if you could show it to me, what does that look like? We want to get specific. Abundant well-being, beautiful, Leslie. So what does abundant well-being look like? Let's get really tangible. Let's take this sort of obscure idea and make it real. Like for me, I see my feet on this beautiful Mexican tile, and I feel the cold, like from the clay sort of feeling, that earthy energy of walking on Mexican tile, and the beautiful, spacious, very bright light, white curtains sort of blowing because the windows are open. I can see that, and I can feel in my system that when I walk into my home, it's just like, I feel so good. I feel so good to be here. There's a lightness in my being, in my body. Okay, health and thriving mindfulness coaching business, beautiful. Working on my songs in my villa in Tuscany. Margaret, I love how specific. Notice what just happened. Margaret got very specific, and now I'm there with you. I can see it. If I can see it, then consciousness can see it. Higher consciousness can see it. If we can see a picture of it, then higher consciousness can see it and deliver it. But if it's vague, it's like, what is that really? Because it depends person to person. If it's not specific, it's up for interpretation. Okay. So my dream home with large garden to grow flowers, fruits, and vegetables. I would be in my happy place and feel healthy, free, and at peace. And I encourage you, Annie, to say, I am, instead of I would be, pushing it off to the future. What about I am? Okay, so let's actually get into the content today. Really what drove me here is I've been getting some messages from people that have been breaking my heart. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm sharing this with you. Very spiritual people, very beautiful souls who have big dreams, and they are not seeing the results. They're taking some actions, but they're not getting the result that they're seeking. So what is off? Why isn't that happening for them? So we're going to get into it. Oh, Mandy, you're here. So good that you're here. Love that you're here. Accepting more prosperity, calling it in, available $10,000 cash for upcoming travel. Notice this. The $10,000 cash is great. That's specific. However, soon as you said upcoming travel, now we're getting some juice behind what you're going for. So the upcoming travel, where? Where are you staying? What is that visual of that travel? That is so specific that the money behind that, I just got chills actually, is very easy to come in because there is a juicy vision. There's something that's so alive and magnetic that others can see it. Consciousness can see it and is like, oh, here, it's so specific. Okay, so when I shared recently that I had this manifestation experience that I did absolutely nothing for, it was a vision of a beach, a picture I had cut out. You can watch my previous workshop. It's still on YouTube, where I manifested this thing that was totally unexpected. I had cut out a beautiful image because it felt really good, that I saw in a store or a hotel or something, cut it out, and I threw it as a bookmark into my book. The image was a beach, this very rocky, incredibly gorgeous beach, and a sailboat drifting by with a couple on there, and they just look so happy and peaceful. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even try for it. I didn't even go for it. I didn't take any actions to create being on that beach, having that sailboat drift by, being there with my partner, none of that. I had no vision of it, or I didn't put any energy towards it, and it happened.
Fuck off, mouse.
And this is where I want to, really clarify some things, which is it didn't just drop into my lap, because some people, what's happening is they're thinking that you can just dream it up, feel really good about it, and then it'll happen. And this is what I want to clarify today. That beach I ended up on, in the exact same beach just a few months later, with absolutely no plan, no action, no desire to put any energy into it, because I've been very full in my life doing other things. But I ended up on that beach in a very specific way, which I won't get into the full story. And what I've realized is that even though I didn't take specific action to get on that beach, for quite a while now, I have been taking very specific action to create my home, to find my home. If I were to give you the list of things, you'd be like, wow, what? I mean, everything from doing very practical things like planning, visiting different places, trying to find my right home. I actually made an entire list of what I did to find my home. I moved to Asheville, North Carolina, tried that for a while, put 2 different offers on houses there. I cleared major blocks that were coming up with certain dynamics in that process. I sat with my spiritual teacher to heal energetically. I bought things for the home that I was manifesting, like this gorgeous, massive floor to ceiling mirror. I bought these beautiful tablecloths and things. I was already ready for the home. I was taking solid actions. I even went to Peru and did a despacho ceremony to call in my home, to really anchor it in, to create it. I took a trip to France to see if that was my home. Long story short, I have been taking massive action in the direction of what it is I'm creating, which is my home. Ironically, it took me to that beach. And interestingly enough, it seems like that's becoming home. Okay. That is actually home, which is so incredibly beautiful. So I want to talk about the distinction, first of all, to be very clear. Manifestation is not sitting here and just like waiting for things to happen. It's also not taking endless, exhausting action. So if it's not either of those things, then what actually is it? So what do you think the absolute key to manifestation is? Okay, the absolute key to manifestation. I've been meditating on this, really sitting with it. What is missing for these beautiful souls who are wanting to create and manifest, but it's not happening yet? What is the absolute key? What do you think it is? Believing it exists inside of us already right now. Fantastic. Yes. Your vibration. Absolutely. Feeling already having it, expecting it. Exactly. So these are powerful. And I am a yes to all of these things. This is absolutely essential. We're going to get into this. Surrender. Beautiful. Yes. However, the real key is a word that you may not find sexy. And you might be like, oh no, please don't tell me that's the key. But we're gonna reveal it. The absolute key to manifestation is discipline. Now, hold on. I know some of you are like, discipline, you mean like perseverance and like continuously moving towards something. It's really about being a disciple of your dream. Being a disciple of your dream. What is a disciple? A disciple is someone who is fully devoted to a particular path. Let's say their guru, they're a disciple of their guru, or a particular spiritual way of thinking or journey or path. If we are not disciples of our dream, if we don't have a certain discipline in place, and this is the missing key, this is what I see in so many people I work with. Some are the opposite. Okay, I work with 2 types of people actually, but one of the main things I'm seeing in people who are not creating, they're not manifesting, is they are not disciplined. They're not a disciple of their dream. Everything and anyone takes precedence over the thing that they are dreaming of creating. So they don't have, and we're going to get into 4 levels of discipleship, ultimately, of being a disciple of your dream. There are 4 layers of discipline. There are 4 levels, okay? And discipline, it's like the centerpiece of the spiritual path, discipline is, right? It's everything. If you don't have a practice daily, good luck. Is anyone here on a spiritual path? I'm curious about this. Are you on a spiritual path? And if so, do you have a daily practice? So any great endeavor, it doesn't have to be a spiritual path, any great endeavor. For example, my partner, Jason, he meditates 3 hours a day. We've been together 13 years. He's never missed a day. 3 hours every day, okay? His whole purpose in life is enlightenment, is to reach a certain level of consciousness. That's his whole purpose of being on this earth. He is a disciple of his spiritual path. He is 100% committed. And he has reached certain levels of consciousness that are astonishing and admirable and respectable and incredibly unique and rare. So anything doesn't have to be the spiritual path. Maybe it's creating your business. Maybe it's being visible. Maybe it's being a mom or having a house or a garden or a beautiful community or creating an intentional community in a beautiful place. Maybe it's being of service in a certain way, whatever that is that you are so called from your heart to create. It's in your bones, it's in your soul. Whatever that is for you, are you a disciple of that? Or are you letting everything in your life take over? Are you letting other people's agendas take over your time? So this means, what does this mean? We're going to get into it, but part of it is taking action even when you're not getting a result. Okay, we're going to get into that in a moment. If you are in a place where this is exhausting to you, I want to say that many of you have already put in the most important thing, and we're going to start with that. The most important level of discipline in terms of being a disciple of your dream, becoming a master manifester, creating anything that you want. The first level of discipline, it really comes down to neutralizing, okay? So there are 4 levels. You can write these down. Neutralize. So what I mean by neutralize, and this is a piece that many are missing, those who are very action-oriented, they're very driven, they're not coming into a neutral, or what I call the diamond self. It's your true self. It's the dimension of you before we put on a mask, before we put on an identity or a persona, before we decided to come out into the world as this is who I am and this is what I stand for. And this is, no, prior to that, before we were given an identification card, prior to name, we have an energy. There is a presence. There's a looking through these eyes that is not specific. It's not a personality. It's not a mask. The word mask means persona. It's really the yogis, the shamans, the mystics think of this as no mind. It's like empty mind, no thoughts. It's not about getting rid of thoughts, but it's the space behind the thoughts that can witness thought. Okay. Many of you have already spoken to this. You've said frequency, energy. That's really the power behind manifestation. 100%. The thing is, there's a level of infinite power that we can connect to, of infinite supply, that's not going to be found in our finite self. It's not going to be found in our personal self. So how many of you are taking time to come into meditation? It might be, you might not meditate, but you might notice in the shower, for example, like you're just showering, you're just present with the water, you're not thinking, you're just present with what is, or maybe you're dancing or painting or swimming or something of that nature. And suddenly, you're just in this expansive state, like you're gone, like the small self and all of her or his worries are gone. You're just in this like expansive state. So this really comes down to having the discipline with your frequency, with your energy, with basically, I think of it as breath, whether that's breath work, meditation. And what I want you to see as I go through these 4 is just notice which of these 4 you're really good at, you're really strong in, and which of these 4 levels of discipline to become a master manifester, to create anything, that you could use some focus on and some energy around. So some of you said it already, this comes down to surrender, surrendering our ideas, our persona, our past, our limitations, even our ideas of what our lives should look like. And this is just for a period of time every day, sitting. Okay, I do this before bed at night, and I do this as soon as I wake up in the morning. Before I get out of bed, I actually put my pillows up behind me, and I just sit in bed before I even get out of bed, and I sit in that silent state. I also go to bed that way. So I'm constantly bookending my day with this state of consciousness so that I can tap into this infinite source or infinite supply. Now we're talking about it here, so it's conceptual, but who here has had the experience of absolute, perfect, brilliant stillness, perfect peace, perfect freedom? So I'm not going to go deep into this, but I do feel like some of you might be non-dualists, like in this non-dual path, which is a beautiful path. And I actually see it as an incomplete path because it's a big dismissal of this beautiful physical reality that we are in. However, being able to tap into this non-dual state is a very powerful place to reside. It's connecting with our true selves, with our most limitless dimension. It's connecting with our source and tapping into infinite supply. That's why this is so important in the context of manifestation. So the second level, wow, Franz is saying, when I almost died 5 years ago, it was all peace. Annie says, when I'm gardening, I go into this state. Franz says, when I have my ideas and when I'm painting, this is when I'm in another state. Notice it doesn't have to be traditional lotus position, like meditating, right? You have a unique way. It might be sitting outside and just putting your hand in water by a river and just breathing, taking in the breeze, looking at a beautiful sight in nature, or meditating on a glorious flower. It might be as simple as just meditating on a flower, getting really present with something right in front of you. That's typically my practice. Okay, so the second level of discipline, because I know many of us think discipline, oh my God, it's all action. We're getting there. But first, it's discipline with your energy, right? So discipline with your energy has to do with discipline, devoting some time in your day, every day, to the diamond self. I wrote a book on this, The Diamond Process. It's really tapping into presence, tapping into the true infinite self, deeply within yourself. It's just who you were born as, who you will die as. It's unbreakable. The word diamond actually means unbreakable, this limitless dimension of self. So that's number one. The second level of devotion, of discipline, is now that you're tapped in, now that you're not stuck in this very small self that's all wrapped up in, oh my God, doubt, fear, this person said that, are they going to like it? Can I do this? I'm afraid. All that's gone when you're tapped into this expansion that many of you are sharing about, wandering, daydreaming, when you're gardening, when you're really enjoying painting or whatever it is that takes you to this expansive state. Now that you're dialed into this expansive state, breathing, breath work is a fast path, or chanting, singing, and meditation is fast. Second level of discipline is visualization, to visualize. Do you know how much of our day is spent visualizing what we don't want? If you look at the science behind that, it is so incredibly sobering that most of us are worrying and repeating the same thoughts over and over again that have a lot to do with worry or doubt. And so we're rehearsing and we're visualizing what we don't actually want. And so it really does require discipline. I want you to think about how many people place demands on you, or how much is happening in your environment that so easily distracts or takes us away from what we actually want to create. It's going to require some radical discipline to actually occupy, to utilize some of that brain power. We don't need a lot. 17 seconds a day is proven to create, to help us manifest what we want, so long as we're dialed in first to the state of consciousness that I was just talking about, which is that no mind state, that presence, and that takes time, right? Or it's actually instant, but to cultivate that, it takes making space for that, for grace, for that expansiveness. And then we visualize. 17 seconds a day goes a long way, okay? I want you to just imagine for the next 5 days, you sit in meditation for 5 minutes, do some breath work. We could do breath work at the end or somewhere in here if you want to practice a little bit together. Yeah, and then once you're dialed in, visualize what it is that you'd like to create. So for me, my feet are bare, walking on that beautiful Mexican tile. I am like, the curtains, pushing the white, the sheer white curtains, drawing them and looking out at the gorgeous nature and the green that's outside the window. Okay. So what are those specifics? And it's, you know that you are in the right visualization if you have a smile on your face as you picture it. If nothing else, this is so healing on your body. When you visualize something joyful to you, it actually heals your body physically. So some of you may know this. I, a few years ago, went to the doctor, to not a conventional doctor by any stretch, a healer, let's just say. And I had some health stuff going on at that point because I was way overworking. I was in a state of burnout, had a health diagnosis, and had a big wake-up call, which is what has helped me to find this middle way to creating amazing things. Some of you know I was just traveling for 3 months to, Peru, Portugal, not Spain, Italy, France, Budapest. I'm traveling right now. I mean, what I've created is astonishing. And so I have found this middle way to enjoy my life as I'm serving my clients and my students who I love so much. Now, during that time when I was going through the health diagnosis, I went to this healer. He has me sit down. He pokes a little hole in my finger. He puts a little bit of blood on a slide of glass, on a piece of glass. He slides it under a microscope. He looks under the microscope. He says, "Come here." I come over, he has me look in the microscope at the cells in my blood. And he says, "What do you see?" And I said, "Ooh, like that looks really sad." All my cells looked like they were clustered and kind of like stuck together. There was no movement. They were just stuck in a cluster kind of off to the side of the frame. And it felt very dead, to be honest with you. The energy felt stagnant, dead. And he said, "Yeah, go." He's like, "Come back to your chair." So I go back to the chair. He takes my other hand. Before he does anything, he says, "Veronica, I want you to think of something really joyful, something that just makes you feel so happy, so alive. Don't tell me what it is. Just, I want you to go there in your mind. Let yourself think about something, a recent experience that was so alive and joyful for you, that as soon as you imagine it, it brings a smile to your face." I close my eyes and I actually visualize something very simple, nature, sitting in this beautiful, under this tree I was sitting under regularly, and just touching the tree, letting the sun hit my face, the breeze. And I was just like really savoring it, taking it in. A smile rose to my face and he said, "That's it. Whatever you're thinking about right now, keep going. Like, let it in, savor it, feel it. Let every cell in your body receive the joy of this beautiful vision." And so I did for maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds max. He takes my other hand. He pricks my pointer finger. He puts a new drop of blood from that finger onto the glass, onto a new piece of glass, slides it under the microscope, looks into it, and he looks at me. He says, "Come over, look." I look. "What do you see?" This could bring tears to my eyes. It was maybe 2 minutes later, after 30 seconds of visualizing something joyful, and my cells were starting to look rounder and separating, and they were all moving across the glass, through the blood, right? They were moving, circulating. In Chinese medicine, what is circulation? It's life, it's health. If we're stagnant, if we're stuck, that's where illness comes from. So I was in awe. All I did was think a joyful thought for 30 seconds. What happens when we do that every day? What happens when we visualize every day? Yes, it makes us powerful manifestors. It helps us bring what we want into form. But you know what else it does? It makes you healthy. It makes your body thrive. It programs your mind because you're a disciple of your dream. You are disciplined enough to use your mind to create something good for you and take back your time. Even if it's 5 minutes of your time a day you take back from wherever it's bleeding out, take it back for this, to manifest and create the life you're here to create. So you have a lot of power. We have a lot of power. As Einstein said, imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. Imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. We can create anything. And for me, I had heard this. I know the power of the mind mentally, but when I saw it under a microscope, within a 2-minute window, my life changed. Because I was like, there's no way to deny this. There's no way to pretend I'm weak or limited or not powerful. I can't lie to myself. I can't, wow, look, that's evidence right there. So, yeah. So we'll get to that, your questions, some of your questions here at the end. Yes. So, okay, now that we are dialed into this visualization, being a disciple of your dream, even if it's 17 seconds or 30 seconds a day. Now what do we do? So step one, we are in this beautiful, beautiful stage of neutralization. We're meditating. We're dropping out of our story, out of all the things, past, future. We're just taking some time each day to meditate. However that looks for you. Then from that state, we're dialed into the true self, infinite self, presence, clean mind. Now I'm going to actually put on my mind what I choose from my heart, what I love. I'm going to see what I'm made of. Can I actually create something from nothing? Can I do that? So now I visualize with feeling what that is. Beautiful. I have that visualization in place, just even for a couple minutes. Whatever that is for you. Maybe it's you're working with a client and that client is having this powerful experience and they're saying, thank you so much. This is the most powerful session. Maybe it's looking in your email inbox and seeing letters from all of your incredible customers or clients, or maybe it's PayPal, like you've got money, you've got money, you've got money, and just seeing that and smiling. Whatever that visualization is for you, it's up to you. The point is, it has to make you smile. If you visualize it and you're like, it's not the right visual. It definitely will bring a smile. It'll feel good in your body, in your cells. Okay, that's when you know you're hitting the right vision. You're casting the right vision when it feels really good to you. Okay. The third level of discipline, this word, this beautiful word, which really is just about being a disciple of your dream, is materialize. Okay, so we've got neutralize, we've got visualize, now we've got materialize. This is where so many spiritual, beautiful, soul-centered people, oh boy, are missing this piece. Many spiritual people are like, meditation, got it. Visualization, got it. I'm great at all that. But what's missing? Materialization. A lot of people think that manifestation, and this is where I'm a bit fired up. This is why I'm showing up on a Saturday to share this with you today, because I'm a little tired of this idea that is very limited and blocking many good people from creating what they want, that if you visualize it and you feel good, hard stop, that's all you need to do, it'll fall in your lap. Wow. We are in a physical body. Do you know why we're in physical form? To create We have hands to create with. We have eyes to see with. We have a voice to speak with and sing with. We have feet to walk with. We have hearts that beat. We have energy that emanates from our physical form. Why? Because we are here to create, to take action. So materializing is not about kicking back on a hammock. That's 100%, that's 80% of the game is energy, right? Kick back in a hammock, neutralize, come into that relaxed state, enjoy, be present. Past, future is gone. You're fully immersed in the now. From there, visualize. Beautiful. This is magic. Now what? You visualize, you're tapped into what you want. You feel it. It feels good. You can see it. You can imagine it. Imagination is the preview of life's coming attraction. Now what? Do I sit and wait? Do I wait? That's what a lot of people are doing, and they're in pain and they're financially broke and they're suffering. And this vision of making a difference in people's lives is this far off dream, or having whatever it is that they want in their relationships, their health, their careers is not happening, because they think that materializing what they want is about just being in this energy and frequency and doing nothing about it, staying comfortable in the reality they're already in. But you see, taking inspired, consistent action. Some of you right now are like, oh man, I'm so good at action, V. I take so much action. I am such a action-oriented person. I'm driven. If that's you, I'm not talking to you about, that's not who I'm talking to. If that's you, you probably have an opportunity to neutralize, to relax a little bit, like savor your wins. I talk a lot about this in the membership and my programs and services. There are two types of people I work with. One is the very, very driven types who are very good at this. They take massive action. They're incredible. They blow me out of the water with their action. They come to me because they need help with their energy, with their self-care, with savoring their wins, with acknowledging what they've already created, with relaxing a little bit, with receiving, with becoming available to life at the next level, okay? Then there are the other types who are really good at relaxing, but not so good at action. So what I'm saying is materializing has to do with relaxed action. It has to do with you're in a state, now you go for it. Now you take that action and you persevere. You freaking use this form that you have been given for whatever time we have on this earth to go into action. Now, there are many people who don't go into action because they're scared of rejection. Can you relate to that? Scared of rejection, scared of people judging, scared of people, or scared of someone giving something and them not getting the result, or making a fool of yourself, or not knowing. Like, for example, it happens to me all the time. Before, I was just telling the authenticity circle in my membership just before coming in here, I'm doing this workshop later and I feel unprepared. I feel inequipped. I don't feel good enough. That shabib still comes up for me. But what do? I show up. I show up. I'm here showing up for all of you. Why? With all of you. Because materializing is not about letting those voices in my head take over so that I crawl back into my comfort zone and do nothing and create the same results, the limitation from the past. No, I show up. I show up. I take action because I know that the action, spirit meets you at the point of action. Okay? It's not like I visualized it. I did my job. I put in the order. Now bring it. Action. I want you to think about how many of the people right now in your notebook, write down 3 people you think are very powerful at manifesting, creating what they want. You're like, wow, they have created amazing things. Their energy is right. They're in this frequency. Is it their energy and frequency alone? Or are they taking massive, consistent action, okay? Consistent action. And this is where the magic happens. This is where the friction happens. This is where the diamond pops out of the carbon, out of the coal, out of the earth. This is when the pearl pops out of the oyster. The friction, because guess what? To be a disciple of your dream, yes, it's about taking action, but guess why people aren't taking action? They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of, they have fear or lack thoughts. I'm not good enough. The content I create, you know, the thoughts that ran through my head? I haven't washed my hair. I have a hair blow dry on Tuesday. I was going to, like, literally the thoughts were like, cancel today and do it Tuesday because of your hair. This is the kind of BS that the mind will come up with, the ego, to avoid rejection. So it'll put up all kinds of resistance. For you, that thought may never come up, and you might be laughing hysterically that that's even a thing. For you, it might be, you need to look like this, you need to sound like this, you don't have the right equipment, you don't have enough letters behind your name. Whatever it is for you, be aware that the ego is going to try to hold you back from taking action. I watch it every day with my clients and students. I watch it every day. I see those who are getting massive results and those who are not. The ones who don't get results are the ones who are stuck in non-action. Now, there is a fourth level, a fourth layer, okay? To be a disciple of your dream, you've got to nurture the dream, okay? This is what I'm saying in step 3 here. How do you nurture the dream? You take action. I serve my community. I serve my people. I serve my dream because I'm here to help empaths awaken into their vision and to make the difference they're here to make with confidence, with clarity, so that they can feel fulfilled. Because I believe that empaths, big-hearted souls, those of us who have a lot of love in our hearts and want to bring goodness into our world or inspiration or whatever it is, that a lot of wisdom is locked up in highly sensitive people and empaths, those who are afraid to be seen, those who are hiding out because they don't want to face rejection or they're more sensitive to it than others. And so I'm very, very good at helping empaths and highly sensitives break through and blossom out of that. It's just what I'm here to do because I've done it for myself and I have done it for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of empaths and highly sensitives. So to materialize that vision for myself, whether it's the selfish vision or like the self-centered vision or the service-based vision, which are really the same, because if I'm serving myself, I'm in overflow and I can serve my people really powerfully, regardless of which dimension of the vision, whether it's my home or it's my clients getting amazing results, I'm going to show up because this is a missing key in manifestation for so many people. So are you persevering? Are you staying consistent? Are you being a disciple of your dream? Or when any flicker of doubt comes in, are you going, no, I'm not doing it? Or you stay vague. This is a big, this is happening for you if you stay vague. I want something, I just don't know what it is. Or I want to feel good. Or yeah, I'd love to have a business. Well, what kind of business? Like, what does it look like? What does your day look like? Are you working with clients? Do you have a product? Are you speaking? Are you on stages? Are you working behind the scenes? Like what kind of business? What's the impact? Like we want to get specific, but often we stay in non-action and in vague land so that we don't have to face the discomfort of potentially being rejected. And if you know that, knowledge is power, awareness is power, and there is a way through, okay? There is a way through. And all my videos on YouTube really help you with this, and my programs, things like that. Fourth level, once you're taking the action, now this is another missing piece for so many people. Now we alchemize the fear, the doubt, the obstacles, the things that have held us back in the first place. If you're not taking action, then you're not materializing anything. There's something Denise DT says. She's a fantastic teacher on money mindset. She's awesome. And she says something like, manifesting is marketing. Marketing is manifesting. What I'm doing right now is manifestation because I am being visible. I am being seen. Every time I'm visible, people tend to sign up for my membership, or they sign up for our self-mastery mystical school, or they sign up for some art coach training program, or they just, whatever the case may be. Manifestation is pretty simple. It's really getting your energy in the right place and taking action. However, what keeps people from action are triggers. So how do we alchemize those emotional triggers and turn them into what I call treasures? How do we alchemize those thoughts that, oof, they hurt, right? The thoughts in my head this morning were like, I'm not prepared enough. I can't give this workshop, right? So the not good enough. How do we, fortunately, I've gotten very, very good at alchemizing through repetition for 20 years now, my emotional triggers and turning them into rocket fuel so that I can show up the way I do, even as a highly sensitive, introverted empath. Like, very unlikely to be as visible as I am, as often as I am. However, I believe that there's a path, and that's the path I love showing people, empaths especially. If you're highly sensitive, you're also really, really good at alchemization. You're an alchemist. You're really good at turning lead into gold. And metaphorically speaking, so turning fear, doubt, grief, sadness, pain into confidence, power, inspiration, wisdom, and sharing it. And together, that's how we start to uplift our world. But if you're hiding out, there's no way to expand beyond where you're already at. So what do? We clear the blocks. So as you're taking action, let's say you're taking action by being visible. You make a video, or you do a master class, or you do a live talk, or you're selling, you go and bring your product to a store or something and ask if they want to sell it. That's action. That's inspired action. That's powerful, courageous action. Now what happens after you hit broadcast and then you hit end broadcast? And suddenly the thoughts are like, oh my God, no one showed up. Or, oh my God, I didn't do it right. Or I didn't say it right. Or, oh my God, that person made that comment. Or what do we do with those dark thoughts? We alchemize them. This is all about self-mastery. This is all about inner work, doing the inner work, doing the deep dive. We can't get into that, obviously, in this workshop. We have an entire program based on that. Actually, interestingly enough, we created in our coach training program, we chose to create an entire foundational program for 90 days before coaches even move into the coaching sequences and the coaching skills, because first they need to become their first client, and they need to learn how to raise their energy and their frequency, break through blocks, be able to show up in any situation with confidence. If they can't do that, how are they going to help clients do that? Self-mastery is the foundation of masterful coaching. So we created a whole program, and we just upgraded it, called Self-Mastery Mystical School, where we go into massive, it's like a very loving boot camp of sorts, where people go through this incredible energetic upgrade and transform, clean up their minds and their emotional bodies and their energy so that they can create anything. And we created that for coaches, but what we have found is, and why we're letting people who don't want to be coaches into that is, and there's a point to this, is because it works for anyone, whatever field you're in. It's going to make you better at whatever it is you're here to do, whatever it is you're here to create. If you're interested in that program, just let me know. But you can send a note to info@veronicacresto.com or reply to one of the emails. But really, this is about becoming a receiver. And I'm going to be so transparent with you. I was just telling my community in the Authenticity Circle, our membership, these amazing women, I'm not great at receiving. Like, I'm good at receiving, but I realized recently there's another level. Like, it's time to open up to that next level of receiving. And there's always more. There's always more. This never ends. This journey of self-mastery, of inner work, it's like you constantly bloom. I have people in my programs who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, I mean, from 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, who are ever blooming, who are just dropping years off of their lives because they're just shining so much brighter, because this is an ever blooming journey. We only get brighter and brighter and brighter because there's more and more opportunity to alchemize what's hard and dark and challenging and turn it into energy that fuels us and our missions, okay? It's good news when the ego comes in and tries to give you doubt, tries to tell you you can't do it. The ego is your friend. I want you to think next time doubt comes in and you want to go do something really courageous, doubt comes in. I want you to think about the ego as like, if you, as the resistance you need to get really strong. I don't pay for a gym membership so that I don't have access to weights. Like, I go to a gym because I want the weights. I want my muscles to feel that power. I want the resistance. I want to work against the resistance so I get vital, so my body gets strong. My ego, your ego, is like an amazing weight set at the gym. And it'll use all kinds of thoughts and all kinds of ideas to sort of deter you from the path. But really what it's doing, if you look a little deeper and you meditate on it, it's your friend. And if you can face the thoughts that hold you or held you back in the past, and you know how to alchemize them, you know how to do self-mastery work, inner work, you will literally become a version of yourself that astonishes you. What I get to see happen in people every day, today, just in our membership program. A woman, she's here right now. I'm not going to call her out. I'm not going to put her on the spot. Her voice is different. Her whole way of being is different. Her face, everything has changed. I'm like, but she's been at this for 3 years with the same niche, with the same business model, right? She's been going at it, wanting to quit, giving up, wanting to give up, but she kept going. She kept going, and now she's reaping the rewards, because it doesn't happen by just taking action once. When I said that third level, materialize, it's not just taking action once. This is where a lot of people flop. They take action once, nothing happened, I quit. Wow. The reason so few are powerful manifestors is because so few are willing to be consistent when they're not getting a result. So few are unwilling to take action when they're not getting a result yet. Okay, so are you willing to be one of the select few who actually takes the action even when you're not getting the result, and you're really good to yourself in the process? And that's what self-mastery, that's what alchemization is about. You take the action and you're really good to yourself in the process. I could go on and on about that. We're not going to get into the inner work, but do you have self-mastery? Do you have a tool set that you use every day whenever you need it to alchemize the limitations? This particular woman in our membership, she said, she said just the other day, she did a master class last week, and she's like, every thought came in to derail her. She still did it. She gave the master class, but she said, I literally took out every tool I had, and I just used the tools and used the tools and used the tools. And it worked. She showed up, and she's powerful in her voice. She's dialed into her message now through repetition, through practice. So which of these 4 are you lacking and needing strength in? And which are you already great at, if any of these? So neutralize is the first one. That's really about meditation, presence, coming into this infinite state of consciousness. Visualize, really seeing what it is that you want to create and basking in it as if it's already done with great joy. Materialize, taking consistent, inspired action, courageous action. Okay, me being visible right now and doing this masterclass is an example of this. This is where a lot of people, myself included, kind of sometimes go, I don't want to do it. I've been traveling 3 months. I would like to take a freaking walk down the beach or something like that. The ego will be so convincing, but you should rest, you should this, or you should that. There are many different tricks that it has up its sleeve. However, you take the action and then you alchemize whatever the doubts and the fears that try to derail you off the path. You alchemize those with tools. Do you have tools? So which of these 4 are you really strong in, and which could you use some support in? My materializing could use some extra attention, though. The others feel fairly easy to me somehow. So good. So you know exactly to where your energy is to go. Oh, wow. That's really beautiful what some of you are saying here about the membership. Thank you. Need to do more visualizing. Beautiful. Materialize, taking continuous, relaxed action. Awesome. Really, really good. Visualizing is a problem. Yeah. So you had a question about visualizing and why that's hard for you. So for some of us aren't visual, but we can feel it. Okay. We can feel it. And also visualizing takes practice. It can take practice. So for you, it might be, instead of visualizing, it might be writing in affirmative language. I love my life so much. I just worked with the most incredible client, and 3 new clients just signed up just like her. I don't know what it is about me that's attracting all these incredible souls to me, but my magic and my power and my expertise is really shining through, and I'm showing up for it. When the fears come up, I'm able to break through them. I love my life. I was walking on the beach today and I can't believe that this is my life. So you just write that visual in words, in present tense language, as if it's already done. Do that for 5 days. Notice what happens after you've meditated, after you've come into that higher state. Okay. Definitely materializing. Okay. I can't understand that because I can paint with a lot of fantasy. Interesting. There may be some part of your ego that's resisting it then. Okay. So what I also suggest is flipping the script and going, what if I was really good at visualizing? So good at it that I didn't realize I was doing it all the time. And just start to open up to the possibility that maybe just through practicing and start with something very specific, like your hands on the driver's wheel of a car, the driving wheel of a car you love, with the top down. Just imagine that and feel it. Feel the sunshine, the wind in your hair, etc. Just practice it. Anna says, writing is definitely easier for me, but I don't feel it as much in my body. Okay, yeah. So that maybe the visualization is more of an embodied experience. Speaking of embodied experience, I do want to say that when the reason this is so important to take action and then do the inner work is because you might be able to take the action and get some result, but many people will lose the results, or they won't even achieve the results in the first place if they don't have the ability to alchemize energy, to be really embodied, to ground, instead of getting freaked out by the fear thoughts or the lack thoughts, to actually be able to alchemize those, to transform them, to transform triggers into treasures. Okay. Really, really important to have self-mastery, because it's sort of like this cycle where you basically neutralize, you're in the state, you visualize, you materialize, you take action, you alchemize, you work with the fear, you work with the energy, the emotional triggers. And now you're like embodying this frequency, you're grounding, like this amazing woman today in our membership. Her voice is different, her frequency is different. She's attracting at a different level now, because I was saying to her, it's like her solar plexus is pow, it's turned on, like the fire in her belly is on. You hear it in her voice, you feel it in her presence. There's a gravitas, there's a power. Now she's attracting at a much more powerful state. So as she continues to neutralize, meditate, visualize, take action, right, materialize, and continue working with the limitations, she's continuing to build her grounding and her embodied state of power, her embodied state of receptivity, to be able to attract in whatever it is that she's here to attract and create with much greater ease. So, what do you do if you have resistance to allowing yourself to feel into what you want? Let's take a deep, deep breath and exhale it out. Notice the mind is saying, oh, I may have resistance to feeling into what I truly want. Instead of feeling into what we want, let's start by feeling into what we have now, what we have now. Get really good at feeling what is already here. Wow, the floor beneath my feet is holding me. The breath in my lungs. This cup of tea. I have hydration. I have this beautiful cup of tea. I have this candle in front of me. I have these flowers. Breathe in, feel it. Feel your hand on your heart, the love you're able to give to yourself. Get really good at basking in what you already have, and then it will become easier and easier and easier to bask in the visualization. You see, if we're visualizing something far off in the future, we can't feel it. One of the limits is that we're feeling something in the future, but we're putting it off in our mind. It's going to happen later. It won't. If we keep seeing it in the future, it stays in the future. You have to bask in it now. So look for evidence now, and you may want to write this down. Look for evidence now, in your life now, in your current reality of where it's already happening, where what you want is already here. Okay, there's always evidence of what you want to create already being here. If you want your dream house, maybe you've been staying in some pretty dreamy Airbnbs lately. If you want a beautiful relationship, maybe you have a fantastic relationship with yourself or a pet or a friend. Own and savor what you already have, and it will continue to expand and attract to you what you want, so long as you're also taking the action, okay, and not falling into the spiritual trap of non-doership, non-duality, and suffering in lack as a result. Yeah. So what is your biggest takeaway from today's workshop? What is your biggest takeaway from today's workshop? How does that word discipline, okay, that number one absolute key, discipline, being a disciple of your dream, how is that now feeling in your body? And what are your fears about moving forward? What are your fears about moving forward with discipline? So we're wrapping up here. What are the fears about moving forward, taking action with discipline? What are you afraid of happening? Or maybe you're afraid of a different level here, of some kind of one of these levels of discipline. What are you afraid of happening if you go full throttle with all four levels? You meditate, you visualize, you take the action, you alchemize, you work daily with the triggers that are coming up. Instead of tuning out or zoning out or numbing out, you tune in, you use the tools. And if you don't have tools, you get the tools. Reach out to us, join us in Self-Mastery Mystical School. What is that for you? Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so too much change, unknown feels scary. Yes, I hear that. Yeah, yeah. So then knowing that ahead of time, what is it that you can put in place to go at a pace that works for you, for example? Okay. So right now, some of you there are two walks of life typically, right? Right now you're in these two, maybe one of two camps, like you have been in this manifestation place, like feeling good, meditating, and kind of waiting for something to happen. Or you've been in this creative place where you're creating, right? You're creating what you want. You're in this massive action place, but you may not be seeing or getting the results you want. There may be some energy blocks or obstacles that have been in your way that are just not allowing you to shift. Even if you're taking massive action, the result isn't happening because the alchemizing is off, or there's something in your energy or your ability to visualize or something within you that's unconsciously pushing away what you want, what your heart wants. So what I want to let you know is whether you are in this waiter state or creator state. I used to say it's like we need to jump into the creator, but what I have found on my journey, it's really about the middle. It's really about being in this place of relaxation and creation. Okay. So we're somewhere in the middle where we're tapped in and we're tuned in and we're turned on to that power inside. And we are taking joyful, consistent, keyword, action in the direction of what we truly want. And we're being very, very good to ourselves in the process of that. And we're working with our blocks so that we continue to expand our energy, our consciousness, and our frequency. So we're functioning and operating from our infinite self rather than this like old story that, you know, many of us can be locked in. So what is it that will help you come to the middle? And if you need clarity or if you need some kind of confidence boost or like next level, I just opened up, Jason and I have opened up 4 spots, Monday and Tuesday. If you are interested in learning about self-mastery mystical school, you want to see if that's a fit for you, or you need support in your next step, you want to take action, I'm just going to put here in the chat where you can take one of those calls if you want to get on the call with us. It's totally complimentary, and this isn't about like a sales pitch or any of that. We are committed to helping you with your next step. However, this is not a call to just chat. This is a call to really get clear on what it is that you want in your life, what you are here to create, what's been stopping you, and how you can move into the creation and the manifestation of that. So I share that with you. There are 4 spots. And if you want to learn about Self-Mastery Mystical School, send me an email. I'm not even going to put up a page here. At info@veronicacresto.com, or you can go to veronicacresto.com and look at self-mastery there. And more than anything, I just wanted to clear the air today, okay? Manifestation is a combination of energy and action. It's this middle way. And my prayer is that you are tuned in to whatever that missing key is for you, and that you are now choosing to be a disciple of your dream, not a disciple of everyone else's expectations and agendas on your life, but you being a disciple of your dream. And if you need help with that, come and join us in this program. Send me an email, grab one of the spots which I put in the chat here, for a clarity and confidence call with either Jason or myself. And we will directly coach you into whatever that clarity is that you need and that breakthrough that you need, okay? You all are such a gift to this world and to my heart. I don't take for granted that I get to gather with the most amazing people on our earth. If you really tune into the vibration of people who are here, and you look at what has been written and you look at what is being shared, it's pretty remarkable. And we are all over the world. So let's use this opportunity right now. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment. Just imagine we all have candles lit all over the globe right now. Okay. Candles lit all over the globe. Whether you have an actual candle or not, you have a beating heart, which is the ultimate light. And just feeling yourself receiving, feeling the light within you growing, feeling that glow within you glowing, feeling that power within you overflowing, feeling that shining out into our beautiful world, feeling that the collective between us here is creating a field of light that is sending power, peace, love, joy, beauty, harmony, balance, freedom, grace, prosperity out into our world. Yeah. And what is your dream? And what is your next step in being a disciple of your dream? Okay. What is that next step for you of being a disciple of your dream? You are so, so welcome. And if you do want support, if you want to join Self-Master or learn about Self-Mastery Mystical School, or join us, if you want to become a transformational coach certified in the Diamond Process, we just opened the doors. This is like the beginning pre-sale of this incredible transformational journey that we're preparing to start in the fall. So it's always good to get in on that early. So if you want any information, reply to one of my emails. Definitely grab one of these calls. I just put the link in again. So if you want to actually get direct support, oh, Risa, thank you. All the programs are phenomenal and life-changing. You are so, so welcome. You are so freaking welcome, each of you. There's so many beautiful comments here. Yeah, a lineup for action. And what is that, Krista? What is that action that you are going to be taking? You're welcome, Annie. You're so welcome. So my biggest takeaway is the connection between discipline and being a disciple. I think what stops me is the lack of clarity on what I really want. Vague, like you pointed earlier. Okay, that would be an opportunity to grab one of the clarity calls or sit with a coach or someone who's going to help you get clear. Clarity is so important to have a clear vision so you can walk in the direction of that. And then clarity comes from the action. Clarity is not going to come from thinking about it or waiting. It's going to come from having some form of clarity that you move towards, and it will shift, it will change, it's meant to, but the clarity will come from the action. Amazing workshop and amazing questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you for showing up with us, overcoming your thoughts and your hair, which looks great to me. So good. Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you, Tamiko. Mandy, 1111. Yes, beaming more discipline. I'm afraid of losing what I have now and love to gain the gifts of living completely in my truth. Oof. Yeah, so there's an opportunity. So any of those fears, any of those doubts that keep us from moving forward, where's your self-mastery practice? What do you have in place? What tools do you have to break through that? There is a very powerful light at the end of that tunnel. So if you want help with that, let me know. Wow, rejection is redirection. Beautiful. Taking action has never resulted into something negative. There's always something on the other side of that. So why be afraid? Go for it. Yes. I stopped meditating a while ago. I used to twice a day, but fell away. You've made me realize the importance of stillness, connection, and presence first. Tia, thank you for sharing that. That means I have done my job today. If we all walk away meditating a little more and opening up to visualization, taking massive action, and working with our internal triggers, doing whatever we need to do to work with a coach or get into a program that's going to support you to break through into that next level, and I've done my job. I'm finally in a window of feeling like I deserve the world and more. Yes, you do. Now it's about extending that window and maintaining it. Your membership and your support have definitely been helpful with opening up more to that. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Yes, one step at a time. Can I allow myself to have what I want? Yes, you can. Yeah. Wow. In God's will for me, doing and being more disciplined with more relaxed action is today's gift. Beautiful, Janelle. My takeaway is visualizing in a different way, synchronistic discipline. I don't feel fear. I feel gratitude. Beautiful. Yeah, so good. Being a disciple of your dream is going to be my new mantra. The same way I commit to my spiritual path, the same way I commit to my dreams. Bam, nailed it. That's exactly it. That's what we're walking away with today. If you can be a disciple of your dream in the same way you may be a disciple to your family or your spiritual path or whatever you pour energy into, you will be unstoppable. To be a disciple of that dream, what support do you have in place? What actions are you taking? This is where it's so important to have support, so you have accountability. And what is that next step for you? And how are you tending to your frequency? My goodness, I could keep reading these on and on and on. I adore each of you so much, so much. I'm good at level 1. I will be more consistent with 2 and 3. 4 is good also. We'll practice more of 2 and 3 as you've shared. Beautiful, Teresa. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, yes, yes to you. Oh, visualizing and taking that powerful action. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, so good. Materialize, take continuous relaxed action. Beautiful, everyone. Connecting with Veronica Cresto and the membership Soul Centered Life and Business has been the most inspiring and changed space for me. I'm doing my 4th master class. Yes, you are, Janelle. Yes, you are. Yes. So, oh, this makes me so happy. This is the kind of thing, you guys. This is the kind of thing that happens. Whether it is my membership, somebody else's community, some other coach, please get the support you need. It changes everything. And one little side note, if you do get support from someone, please be visible, ask for help, be responsible for your own learning and growth. So important. I noticed this in our membership. Those who are seen, those who come to me with their questions, who show up, they're having big results. Those who hide out, who don't, ask for support or help, and they're not taking the action, it's their energy is feeling good, but the results that they want may be limited. So whatever community you choose to be in, don't just sign up for a community. Be a disciple of your dream. Okay. Be the first one in the room who's like, I need help. Can you help me with this? And get it, like receive it. I had a mentor, I'll complete with this, say to me once, be a huntress. Be a huntress. It took me so long to figure out what the hell he was talking about. But what he was saying was, you are a very sweet young woman. This was like 20 years ago. And that's great. But you didn't just come in here to be sweet and nice. You came in to be a huntress. Know what you want and go after it. Know what you want and get it. You're in a body to create something beautiful in this world. I guarantee you, every one of us here right now have big hearts, and those big hearts have big dreams. And those big dreams, when we become a disciple to those big dreams, change the world. They change the world. Why? A woman in our membership today was just sharing. She left her career of 40 years and is living her dream now as a coach and her craft. She's creating beautiful things. She inspired all of us in there today because she is enjoying her life. She just went and booked a beach hotel with her friend. She was in tears sharing this beautiful story about how she's living in her joy and doing what she loves. If you live your big dream, you change the world. That's what we do together. That's why we come together in community. Other people see the example and they're like, permission slip. That's possible. Like, that's a thing. I can change my life and then become a life coach. I can create a career out of it. I can love my life. I can give talks. I can create master classes. I can impact people. I can feel confident in my voice. Like, this is real, like in my authentic voice. Yes, 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 you can. So thank you for saying yes today. Thank you for showing up today. I adore all of you. And one deep breath in as we wrap up here, as we close this energy field. Exhaling it out. Inhaling in. And exhaling it out. Just lighting some Palo Santo. Another deep breath in, receiving something good in your whole body. And as you exhale out, releasing anything that may have been stirred up in the workshop, anything that was ready to go, any stagnant energy, any static energy. And as you breathe in, letting the light in. Feeling your breath. Feeling your heart beating. Feeling that frequency of your heart emanating ripples of love out into the world without any effort, just you being present, breathing, neutralizing, getting out of the story of past, future. Now just taking a moment to visualize what it is that you love, what you're here to create, something that makes you feel joy. Breathe it in, feel it. Feel it as already done. It's already done. Now be a disciple of your dream by taking action. What is that action, that joyful action that you're here to take? Can it feel as good as swimming in the most beautiful ocean. And if any voice is coming up saying, no, I can't take the action, book a call. Come and talk to us. Come into one of our programs. I can't say it any more clearly than that. Or if it's not me, if I'm not your coach, please go get the support you need, because I promise you there's a level of beauty in your heart when unlocked, not only changes the world, it changes your whole life and your whole family's life. It is the most beautiful domino effect. All of my love to every single one of you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you want to learn more about my programs, our coach training program, you can go to diamondprocesscoach.com. And just sending each of you a whole lot of love. You're welcome. You are so, so welcome. All right, everyone, have a beautiful weekend and enjoy being a disciple of your dream. Mwah. Bye, everyone. Aww.